Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel, brought to you by Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast, available every Friday wherever you find your podcast. Today we're taking a look at the brand new O-ring, dare I say, retroverse? Not yet, I guess. G.I. Joe Cobra Officer and Cobra Trooper, or Cobra Infantry, or Cobra Trooper set that is still currently available on HasbroPulse.com. I'll go ahead and say this doesn't make any sense to me because you don't need one officer for every trooper. But if you're just going to buy one, then it's cool. But I mean, give us a 4-pack of troopers, or give us a pack of one officer and 3 troopers. Do something else. But this 1-to-1 ratio makes no sense. And I think they're still figuring some things out here. If you'll remember, you can go back and watch the video. I like the figures that were in the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow set. The set itself, to me, left a little bit to be desired. But now my expectations are kind of managed, and I just ordered one of these because, as we'll see, I don't really have any urge at this price point. This is $41.99. For these 2 figures. So at this price point, I just don't have an urge to keep one mint in box, especially, as we'll see in a minute, the cards that we're going to be dealing with. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. This packaging, it's neat. It doesn't do a lot for me. The idea of having dozens of these on a shelf, I guess, is kind of cool. But as somebody who wants to open everything or wants everything to have its original packaging style, I don't know. This just doesn't... And I guess this is still left over a little bit of disappointment from that first set, between what I was expecting and what was delivered. So, I mean, as far as shipping 2 blister-carded O-ring figures, this is cool. It's a utilitarian thing, but it just, whatever. Doesn't do much for me. What is kind of cool is our little storage locker here, which we'll see this form factor going forward in the G.I. Joe line. We'll take a look at this in a minute. We're just going to set this little weapons locker aside. What we are here to see, the main event, are our Cobra Officer and our Cobra Trooper. And the cards are, I'm going to call them okay. They're not as thick as I would like them to be. You can see they're pretty wobbly, bendy. Maybe they should be thicker. They just should. Presentation-wise, though, they look pretty great. The white stripe around the edge should be there, but I don't care that much. The Cobra enemy looks fantastic. The art looks fantastic. The figures themselves, the way that they're packaged in the blisters, in these plastic bubbles, look very good. So from the front, we've really got 2 nice looking figures, and I'm not going to lie, having gotten them out of that container, now I kind of do want these mint on card because they're a nice presentation. They don't have a big jumbled front that distracts from just the art of being a G.I. Joe figure. And then we turn it on the back, and speaking of big jumbled presentations, and I know there's no way around this, these file cards are just terrible. Visually, they're unappealing, all of the different languages, and I get it. This is what we got to do. If we want to see this stuff produced, then this is how it's going to be. But it looks terrible, and it renders the back of the card just uninteresting to me. We do have the cross-sell, which I appreciate. We see Snake Eyes and... Snake Addos? What is happening? Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, which we already have. You can go back and watch my review of these 2. And then our Trooper and our Officer. And the forthcoming Duke and Cobra Commander, which will be in different colors than what we're seeing right here. Not vastly different, but they're not representative of the original figures, which I personally find really maybe more compelling. Now that I've accepted that this series isn't going to fill holes in my vintage collection, that this is a new series of O-ring figures, and we'll see why, that, do some different stuff. Make it interesting, but do some different new characters, too. Just really make it a new toy line. So anyway, let's get these guys opened up. We'll start with the Trooper. Let's pull him right off of the card there, since the card is very bendy and not particularly sturdy or worth saving. Put that aside for our trash and recycling. So first up, let's take a look at that rifle, that signature Cobra Trooper rifle that I believe, and look, I'm not a guns guy. If you came here for a list of accurate names for firearms, you're in the wrong place. I'm a toy guy. This is an awesome looking toy gun. I believe based on the Dragunov sniper rifle. They've done a fantastic job with the sculpting on this. Very sharp. Everything looks good. This is a really nice looking rifle. I'm actually a big fan of this. And I'm trying to look up close. It's also relatively rigid. It's not floppy like some of the toy guns that we get nowadays. It's not as rigid as, the old Joe stuff. But it's definitely, this is good. It's not going to break, but it's also not, just that rubber feel that we get a lot of times. As to the figure itself, well, before we get any further, why don't we do this and bring out an original, not original, this is a 1.5. You can see he's got the swivel arm battle grip. But we have our original Cobra Trooper. And you can see, side by side, very little discrepancy between the two figures. He's got a little bit more of our new one has a little bit more of a matte finish. These figures do not have that gloss that the original Joes had. But it's not quite as stark a difference here as it was on Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, but there is still a difference. Oh, and you can see I've given this guy an AK. One of the holes in my collection, for some odd reason, is I don't have one of those original Cobra Trooper rifles. Bizarre. And I just haven't been compelled to track one down all that much. So you can see color-wise, very, very close, if not identical. Really just the finish on this guy is the main overall difference. Now the rivets are different. You can see the shoulder rivets on this guy are a little bit curved, and on the new one they're just flat. That doesn't really bother me. I mean, you can maybe the curves would be a little better, but whatever. But then also the elbow rivets on the new guy are blue rather than the silver of the original. So to me, that is a big upgrade. So there's our comparison. Now, as far as new guy goes, all the joints feel pretty good. You can see here, this is like the gun. These thumbs, are made so that they're not going to snap off, as was often a problem with the original Joes. All the joints feel nice. Knees are pretty tight. Oh, that was interesting. Wait. Okay, that's just where that sculpt is. That's fine. So everything looks good with this guy. All of our paint is applied very nicely. The cylinders on his arm. You see this one actually has a little bit of a notch to it. I'm going to do a little comparison there. And you can see this one's not even quite painted quite the same. I mean, he looks great. He looks absolutely great. I would love a 4-pack of the Trooper with different ethnicities, like what Super 7 is doing. I'd give us a female Trooper. Do that. So where is... Okay, this is my biggest issue thus far with this entire line. This is hideous. I hate it. And that's really all I have to say. This stamp or print on here. It's absolutely horrible. I'm glad it's on the back of the thigh rather than like in the middle here, like as it has been on some figures. But I mean, this is just awful. You're selling us collector toys, certainly at a premium price. So this sort of thing is just inexcusable to me. All right, let's see how well this guy holds this rifle. Oh, nice and tight. Holds it pretty accurately too. You can get a nice straight ahead. Not bad at all. Sorry, I'm finding out these smaller figures lately kind of give the camera fits sometimes. All right, so looking good. I like him. Good stuff. Let's set him aside. Now let's take a look at our officer. One figure, one rifle, same kind of deal. So, of course, first thing out of the gate, let's do a comparison with the original Cobra officer. Oh, apologies. I need to clean this guy up a little bit. Okay, so the first thing is the chevron on the helmet on the new one looks to be a little more defined, or maybe it's just that this one is a little more rounded on top and this is a little flatter. But it looks nice. Obviously that gloss, same thing. The gloss is a little bit different. All of the deco is precise, looks great, recreated. The sculpt seems a little more noticeably soft on our new guy. If you look at the pouches on his web gear, you can see that the detail looks just a little sharper on the original. Also, well, that's just where I've got his body. I was going to say it looks like these are positioned a little differently, but they're really not. This guy's shoulders might be a little broader. If you look, this one, our original, is a little narrower. His neck is maybe a little narrower. The eyes are also, this guy's a little sleepy-eyed. He's a little more attentive and ready to fight the Joes. So, ooh, we got some little knock-knee action going on there. That's interesting. Gosh, oof, that's rough. Look at that. That warp right there is no good. And both of his legs are kind of like that. Obviously, we don't have that going on with this guy. He's got nice straight legs. You can see the knife sheathed on the thigh. Same deal on this guy. Although, this one, his stiletto is a little bit thinner. So, gosh, that is awful. Holy cow, you guys. That's rough. And that is why I continue to say I look forward to the plastic-free packaging, because this let's pop him back in here. This is what did this. Heating and cooling during shipping, and this tray being with this thing here, this is the reason these legs look this way. So, if rather than being stuck into this formed tray, he was just secured to a piece of cardboard, this guy would have straight legs. So, plastic free cannot get here soon enough for me. Well, I mean, it is here, as you saw in my Ahsoka Tano review, which maybe didn't totally go, wow, that guy's knees don't quite bend as deep as they feel like. Well, okay. Maybe that's just because they're so warped. Let me try something. Okay, so I just hit this guy with a heat gun for about 30 seconds. And what I'm going to do, I mean, I can do this all day long and try and straighten his legs out. But I'm going to, come on. I'm going to bend this knee back to where it didn't want to go before and see if that kind of straightens that little piece, and that maybe we can get a little straighter legs out of this guy. So, but other than that, pretty terrible, honestly, knee problem. This guy looks great. Let's see. He's got the same awful Tampo numeric designation on the back of his thigh. I hate it. Hasbro, please stop it. So you can see that's still a little wobbly. I'm not going to sit here and hold it. We'll just see what it looks like after this, and if I need to hit it and with the heat gun for 30 more seconds and maybe try to hold it in place, I'll do that. But for right now, let's take a look at that weapons locker and see what kind of goodies are in here. All wrapped in tissue paper. Going forward, this is... that's just the legal paper. I'm going to leave that in there because who cares. Going forward, this is how our accessories are going to be packaged, and I am A-okay with it because just as much as those darn plastic trays warp our action figures, they warp our accessories as well. So to heck with them, I say. I hate them. Now, for the Minton box collector, I get it. You don't actually want to, play with your toys or get close-up looks at them. You just want to keep them in the package. So really, for you guys, it doesn't matter if something's warped anyway. What do you care? I'm sorry, I'm a little harsh towards Menton card collectors. It's undeserved. It takes all of us, no matter how we collect, to sustain a toy line. So, right here, well, let's... hang on, let's keep these separate so I remember what's what. We've got a mortar cannon ready for use with Short Fuse, who I hope is coming in this line. We have a bazooka ready for use with Zap, who I think we all would like to have a Zap that has thumbs. I'm sure there's some folks out there. This is pretty rigid. I'm actually kind of impressed. Well, look at that. So this is PVC, but it's holding its shape really well. That peg is really rigid. I'm impressed with this. This is a nice little piece. And then we've got an M16 for Grunt. So we've gotten a lot of tooling out of the way here. I don't know if, I doubt this is the original tooling. I think these are all from scans of the original toys. Look at that. Oh, man, what a nice piece. And then finally, there it is, that AK... Oh, wait, I never gave this... I never put this in the officer's hands. So we'll give the officer his AK while he's cooling off. There we go. So presumably these accessories are meant for the trooper. These are our officer accessories, and as you can see, Rock and Roll's machine gun, complete with bipod, which is a little crooked, but we can fix that. Get that heat gun back out. So very nice. Stalker slash Duke's, submachine gun, right? What is this thing? I think that's right. Like I said, not a gun guy. And then finally, this is interesting. I don't know what the heck this is. It's kind of like an AK without a stock, right? Without a stock or a barrel. Is this damaged? Is this an actual firearm that exists? What is this? Tell me in the comments what this little nub of a not quite a rifle is, because clearly it is, it's that, just missing some parts. Except it's really not. This is actually a different... You can see it's tooled a little bit differently. Whoop! Anyway. So yeah, tell me in the comments, what the heck is this little thing? It's cool. I like it. I like little compact firearms like this, especially with the big giant magazine. cool looking piece. I like it. All right, and then finally, of course, we've got the battle stands for. Let's see if this guy's legs straightened out any. A little bit better, a little bit better. I think what I'm going to have to do is heat it up again, hold it in place, and let it cool. But it already looks a little bit better than it did before. So we have got. Gosh, these guys feel so nice in hand. They've done a really, really nice job with the way the articulation works, the way they can hold the weapons, just everything. These are executed very, very nicely, despite the little nitpicks that I have about them. Overall, the execution is pretty much exactly what I wanted. The only real, legit, serious problem I have is get rid of this. So, officer, trooper, they're overpriced. $21 a piece for these guys. Well, okay, I can't say they're overpriced because I'm currently backing Kickstarters where O-ring figures are going for 25 plus. So I don't know, 21. Well, and I've bought the Super 7 figures. So, well, and you know what? You guys, hang on. You guys deserve a bonus. So just for fun, here is a Super 7 reaction figures Cobra Trooper. We're going to open this guy up right now, too. So look at this card back, by the way. Nice, stiff, nice, thick cardboard, durable. This is how anybody that's trying to put out retro blister carded toys, which granted may not last much longer anyway, this is the minimum thickness of a card back. We'll do a little comparison here. So here's our Wibble Wobble Hasbro card back, and here is our thick, sturdy Super 7 card back. All right, let's get this guy out of here. I lucked out and managed to get a bunch of these guys for half price, well, almost half price, at Joe Fest. So I stocked up because I saw it and I was like, you know what? If I don't buy those Cobra Troopers at that big giant discount, I know I'm going to be mad at myself later on. All right, so he has got, now this is modeled after the Sunbow cartoon look of the Cobra Troopers. So he has got a very Sunbow looking weapon here. You can see he's already got some stress on the barrel. I don't love that. But we'll put that right into this fella's hand. Holds it perfectly. We're not here to review him. I just kind of want to do a comparison. Although I absolutely love. These were available in 3 different skin tones with 2 different versions of this, the Y back and the H back. So you can see this is Sunbow animation style, or is it also comic style? But whatever the case, I think it's Sunbow. Looks great, really like it. So let's put him side by side with our new guys and see, how well could this guy stand in the background with your Hasbro stuff? And I'd say pretty darn well. I like it. If you want to, stack your, or stack, you're going to be stacking these guys anytime soon. I was going to say if you want to staff your hydrofoil. If you want to crew your hydrofoil with a bunch of Cobra Troopers, I would say these reaction figures, especially if you can find them for $10 a piece, are the way to go. But anyway, just putting them out there. Look at that. They work with the old guys. They work with the new guys. The blue works. I am happy with all of these in their various forms. But obviously, let's set our old guys aside. Set our reaction guy aside, because these guys are the star of the show. The all-new O-ring Cobra Officer, Cobra Trooper, available now on HasbroPulse.com. Recommended. I wish Hasbro would do something about that thigh mark, but otherwise, These guys look really sharp and are essential for your new O-ring, maybe Retroverse collection. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and come back next week for a full week of G.I. Joe reviews. Cobra.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.